Hey guys, welcome to today's video. You can probably already tell from the title, but this is a Q&A video. I feel like doing these every now and then, every several months, is super helpful to just kind of clear the air on things, answer questions that might be burning in your mind, or maybe that I keep forgetting to answer, that kind of thing. So we're gonna sit down. I have a feeling that this could get chatty. So if that's the case, I apologize, but hopefully you have a cup of coffee and you can just sit, enjoy, listen to it, and come along with me. Currently Nova is napping, so we're gonna have our fingers crossed that this is a good long nap. Of course, I used Instagram to ask you guys in my stories to just ask any question, anything you wanted, and you guys definitely delivered. If you're not already following me on there, it's at Ayla Sophia, and that's where I just have more like live updates, day-to-day stuff, sharing things that I'm learning as a new mom. And there's definitely a lot of content on there if you want to go check it out. Okay, so let's get into it. The very first question that I'm going to answer is kind of just me speaking for Caleb because obviously he's not here, but it's how does Caleb feel about starting the process for another baby this time? And I think that he is similar to me, just kind of a mixed emotion. There are a lot of differences this time, of course, having Nova already and starting to think about going through the process. So there's a lot of unknowns still of just how that's going to affect us emotionally. Of course, having Nova to keep us distracted, I think is going to be a huge help. So I guess I can't really answer for him, but I think he's feeling pretty similar to me. Another one about Caleb is, I've seen a couple of these questions, is what does Caleb do for work? And we actually don't share that because if I were to share what he does, I think it would give away where he works, and it's important to us to have some level of privacy for both his career's sake, for his employer's sake, and it's also a safety thing. But he is an essential I cannot say it. He is an essential employee right now, so he is working. A couple questions asking about Nova's nighttime routine, and I'll actually film a nighttime routine video for you guys here in the next couple weeks. That way I can kind of give you more specifics. But usually it's dinner. We tend to go out for a walk afterwards or do something that kind of gets her energy out as much as possible. We do a bath every night and sometimes alternate, like if we shampoo her hair or anything. It just kind of sets the tone that nighttime routine is starting. And then we just do everything like lotion. We do give her a bottle at night still, and then we read books, and it's just like a whole little routine we have going. What did you do before YouTube? So I've been doing YouTube for quite a while. I think it's about 5 years. But before staying home with Nova and doing YouTube as like my only job, I was a preschool teacher. I had various roles throughout the several years. I was a teacher assistant, and then I was also a lead teacher where I planned and ran the classroom and stuff. And I loved it. It was so much fun, and it was really great. But I'm not doing that anymore. Literally, this ties into the next one that I just saw is, do you miss teaching? Do you have any plans to go back to it? I do miss teaching, but I also feel like I have a lot of opportunities to do kind of teaching stuff or like bring some of my work home here. Of course, Nova is not a preschooler yet, but it is fun to try and like implement some things. Will I ever go back? I think so in the future. I really would like to stay home with my kiddos while I can, and so it's not something that's like ever for sure. It just depends on how life goes, I guess. But I'm sure one day I will. What words of advice gave you comfort while trying to conceive? That's tricky. None. No, I don't know. There honestly wasn't much that anyone could say that really brought me comfort because it was all an internal thing for me. But just someone saying that they see my pain and that they're there for me was pretty much the most powerful thing anybody could say. A few different questions asking about Nova's looks and if she kind of looks similar to our donor family's children, or her dibblings, as you can call them. And as she's growing up, as her face is maturing more, I think I do see some similarities for sure. Definitely as her hair is getting more blonde, that's a similarity as well. But at the same time, she's definitely very unique, very much her own person, and her looks are very much just her. Just like both of the donor family's children look different from each other. So it's just a mix. Some similarities, some differences. A few questions also about her sleep. I assume through the night, I imagine. And ever since we started implementing 1 nap a day, it actually has improved so much. She is sleeping through the night more often than she is waking up, and when she's waking up, I'm not finding it too hard to get her back down, and she's just kind of been regulating things a bit better, and I just have noticed that it has been working really well for her. She is really thriving off of this like schedule that we have going, and her naps are getting better. It's just, I knew that it was going to be the right thing for us. It was a tricky transition for sure, going down from 2 to 1, but I really think it's working for us. If you were having a boy, what would he be named? I can't really say, because we could have a boy in the future, and this one name we have actually liked and held on to for probably like 4 or 5 years, so I don't know if we will use it, and I don't even know if a boy is ever in our future. Who knows? But yeah, I can't really tell you. Sorry. What's your biggest fear and biggest excitement for Nova's future? I think I have just like the normal fears that every parent would have. Is she going to live a full and happy life? But more specific to our journey is just hoping that the people that she comes in contact with and the connections that she makes as she grows up, that they are understanding and accepting of her and her story of how she has come to our family, because it's a little different and it might be tricky for, you know, young kids to understand. So I'm just hopeful that that's a smooth process and that we can equip her with the best ways of handling those sorts of things. And excitement is just seeing her blossom, seeing her grow, and getting to know her as she grows. Because I'm already in such awe of her as a 1-year-old, so I can just imagine as she gets older just how incredible it's going to be. Would you guys adopt another set of embryos from another family? I mean, it's all kind of like a if, because we still have 2 embryos from the same donor family that are 100% biologically related to Nova, and so of course that's where we start, and that's where we're very hopeful that both or one hopefully will result in siblings for Nova. However, we're not ever going to shut the door on embryo adoption, because as you can see, we're so fond of it and we have seen it work its magic. So if down the line, you know, there is another opportunity, that might be another step. But it's hard to say right now because we do have those 2 sweet little frozen embryos in the freezer. But our hearts are definitely hopeful on having a larger family, like maybe 3 or 4 kids. And yeah, so it's going to be a journey. The journey is not ended, that's for sure. Do you think your channel will go in a new direction or still focus on fertility? This has been something that has been occupying my mind and my heart so much over the past year. And it's just this channel. I don't know if you've noticed, but our channel just hasn't been doing the best lately. And it's been a while that it's been like that. And I'm just kind of in this stuck state where I don't know what to do. I'm just kind of fizzling a little bit. And I'm just being totally honest with you guys that it's hard. It's hard to come up with ideas. It's hard to make engaging content, especially when you have a toddler getting into everything and running around, and you want to balance being the best present mom that you can be, and you also want to do the work that you like to do and that you hope to help bring a living to your family. It's a really tricky balance for me, and it's something I've been struggling with a lot, and I've talked about it a few times here on this channel. But to make content and to put your heart and your effort into something, and then to see it just not kind of work for you, is really discouraging. And I could like totally switch gears and go this like clickbait route of just getting people in by, I don't know, people do crazy things, right? Like, I don't want to be the person who puts a thumbnail of my kid like gushing blood, and that's no offense to those people that do, but that's just not what I want to do, and that's not me. And so yeah, it's been a struggle for me, trying to navigate this and trying to make sure that I'm staying true to myself and true to my channel and what I want it to represent, but also like trying to grow and trying to improve on things and trying to still, you know, get a little bit of a cash flow, because like that's the weird side of YouTube that nobody talks about, but it is work and it is effort and it takes a lot of time, and it's something that you hope to see like a return on your investment sort of thing. So that's not even the question. The question was, am I going to change gears or not? I think I'm always going to be a mix of both, because fertility or infertility has always been like the backbone of this channel, and I'm never not going to talk about it. It's not every video. It's definitely not all the time, because my life has different aspects of it now. It's like there are different chapters going on at the same time. Of course, with going through this starting of baby number 2, which we're in the very beginning stages, okay? Like, don't expect videos to come out talking about, you know, needles and the IVF process just yet, because the clinic's still closed. It's just the beginning. But that'll kind of, you'll see a little bit more of that as we go on, but you'll also see mom stuff. You'll also see marriage stuff, that kind of thing. I just want this to be a place where it represents me as a whole, and I do have several facets. So I hope that answers your question. A couple questions about budgeting. I am not the girl to ask about budgeting, and that's not to say that I like shop all the time, like I really don't, but I'm just not, I don't know, we just haven't ever been good at it, and I really want to be good at it. I really want to do better. So leave the budget guru channels down below if you want to help me out. We are trying to save, and we're trying to work on different financial aspects in our life. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in. I think the biggest thing is we just go through this mentality of like, do we really need that? Pretty much every time I like go to shop or go to buy something, I think, do I really need that? And I am the worst. Like, I'll put stuff in my cart in online shopping, like generally clothes and stuff for me or for Nova. I will let it sit there for weeks because I just like can't bring myself to press like buy. I tend to get very remorseful. Like, I have buyer's remorse for sure, 100%, if the thing isn't like exactly what I want, perfect, and if I didn't get a good sale on it, I regret it so fast. So I tend to just really ask myself all the time, like, do I need that? And I can't even tell you how many times I've had things in my cart and I just exited it and I said, nope, we're walking away. And so yeah, that's not really a budgeting tip, but we've just never really overbought, I don't think, for what I feel. Recently had a baby after 5 years of infertility. When does it start feeling real? Never. I still catch myself staring at her and like tears welling up and thinking to myself like, holy, excuse my language, this is crazy. Like, this is what I've wanted and it's here. And I think like, I better get on the floor and play with her, because these are the moments. And I almost think it's a good thing that we don't feel like it's real, because I just think it reminds you constantly to appreciate it and to relish in it. Are you still wanting to move? Yeah, definitely would love to have a place with a bit more space and with a backyard. That's something that's a struggle for me, especially right now, seeing that the weather's warming up and I want to take Nova outside, and it's hard not having a yard to do that. I know that that would be a huge thing for us. Girl or boy? Next, what is your desire, or what would you hope for? Of course, either or. That's, I think, obvious that we're all just happy to have a healthy baby. If I could just share what my like desire would be, I don't know. Honestly, it's really hard to say, because a girl would be so fun to have, like, this best friend for Nova. Not that a boy can't be, I'm not saying that, but just it probably would be a more natural friendship between them. I'm sure they would fight a lot too. And then a boy would be so fun to experience the other side of things and the whole boy being a boy mom. So I really don't know. Maybe I would love to have another girl for the sake of that relationship, and then maybe 2 boys. I don't know. I just really would love to, at least at some point in my parenting journey, just experience one of both. But I'd be happy with all girls also. Are you going to cut your hair again? I love the short look. Guys, look how much it has grown. It was about a year ago, almost exactly, maybe off by like a few weeks, that I cut my hair, probably like this short. So it really grew back. My hair always grows back really fast, and that's why I'm not quite as terrified to chop it. Whereas I'm sure if it grew back slowly, I would be more hesitant. I think I might just want to keep it long for now and enjoy it long, because then I can actually put it up in a pony or a bun and it not get in the way all the time. Are you guys still vegetarian or plant-based? And no, I guess, I mean, you can't call us that. We predominantly eat vegetarian and we choose plant-based options a lot, but we have been eating some non-vegetarian items too. I definitely wouldn't put like any kind of label on us. We're just flexitarian if you had to choose. We just try to eat intuitively and like what feels good for us, and that is predominantly vegetarian, but with a little bit of not vegetarian. And then Nova just eats exactly what we eat. So if we have a vegetarian meal, she just eats that too. And that's probably how I always hope for it to go. Of course, there are times where something we eat is like spicy, so I will make something separate for her. Yeah, generally she eats what we eat. Any New Zealand vlogs? Yes, they are coming. There was so much footage that I just got overwhelmed and kind of like shut down a little. But I really want them to come out. The next one will be when we first get to New Zealand and we do Milford Sound and Lake Wanaka, and then there are several ones. There's like one where we went to Hobbiton, and yeah, there's a lot of really great content with those travel videos that I'm excited to share. Of course, every time I post one, I get comments like, should they be traveling during this time? And I'm like, if you see one of those comments, feel free to let them know that these are from the past. Besides the point, they are coming, bear with me. I hope you really like them though. Have you and Caleb tried conceiving naturally since Nova? I don't think that we've ever been trying to conceive, but we are not preventing. We're not trying, not preventing. All that goes to say that I do not expect it to work because I don't know, I just don't expect that, and I don't want to put any pressure on it. I just don't want to fall into that, so I'm just keeping it light with it. We're just not preventing, that's all it is. If there was ever a surprise, obviously that would be amazing, that would be a huge blessing, but that's just not something that's really in my mind. Albeit, of course, every month that Aunt Flo makes her ugly appearance, it's a bit disheartening and it brings back some of the emotions, but I'm trying to just leave it as it is and just remember that an embryo transfer with our donated embryos is really the best shot for us and something that I'm very hopeful and excited for. So how are you really doing with this stay-at-home order? It's okay. It's not the worst because I do feel very blessed to have the circumstances that I have. My family is healthy, Caleb's still able to work, I'm still able to work, and really it's just inconveniences right now. I do feel lonely and I do wish that I could spend more time with my loved ones, but I am able to find like ways to do that, socially distance walks and stuff like that. So I think it's going to get a little bit better now that the weather's getting better. But it has been hard, of course, and I can tell that Nova's a bit bored and I just want to give her the best life. I think it's kind of hard knowing that we can't be doing the things that I really wanted to do, like taking her to the library story times and stuff like that has been trickier. But like I said, I am grateful that our circumstances are not bad or anything. Also, I just have to say, I'm by the window, right? And there's like the garbage truck coming by, people are walking by. I'm just gonna tunnel vision and not focus on them because it's awkward. And then probably the last question, because this is definitely getting long, is how will Nova refer to the donor family's children? And I have talked about this before, that terminology isn't something that we are set on or really have a good grasp on because we don't have much to go off of. But she will just call them by their names, really. We, of course, aren't saying their names here on YouTube, so that's why I often say donor family's children, just because that keeps that anonymity, but she'll call them by their names for sure. So I feel like I answered a lot of questions, but I also feel like I could talk for like another half an hour. But let me know if I answered your question down below in the comments. And if you stuck till the end, definitely leave this emoji so that I know. And make sure to have your notification bell turned on because it's just so helpful to us as creators, as channels who are on this platform on YouTube, because it lets you know when we post a video. It means our video doesn't get just like lost and shoved down the algorithm. It's just super helpful. So if you wanted to do that, I would love it if you would, and subscribe if you aren't already, of course. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.